So, Virginia Democrats have filed an emergency motion with the Supreme Court after their attempts of redistricting were blocked by Virginia's Supreme Court, aka they overturned the will of the voters. But there have been a lot of whiplash on this. Like every time I refresh the news, there's like something different or someone saying something different. So you had Democrats are fighting. Oh, nope, Democrats aren't fighting. They respect the ruling. Oh, wait, they don't respect the ruling. They give up entirely. Oh, wait, they're filing an emergency motion. So we're going to cover where we are presently, and that is the emergency motion. And I've got some bones to pick, man, about the system we live in general. Our system sucks. And for my own sanity, I need to rant about it. I'll cover the story first. I'll save it for the end. It's not even fully related to this. It's just something I had to get off my chest. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this article. This is from the AP. Democrats ask the Supreme Court to halt a Virginia ruling blocking new congressional districts. Democrats on Monday filed an emergency appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court seeking to halt a Virginia ruling invalidating a ballot measure that would have given their party an additional 4 winnable U.S. House seats. The move came after the Virginia Supreme Court on Friday struck down a constitutional amendment that voters narrowly passed just last month. The 4-3 state court decision found that Democratic-controlled legislature improperly began the process of placing the amendment on the ballot after early voting had begun in the Virginia's general election last fall. Democrats argued unsuccessfully that the U.S. Supreme Court has held that even if early voting is underway, an election does not happen until election day itself. I mean, do I necessarily agree with that? No, but that is per the U.S. Supreme Court. So it's fair game to use that as an argument. The court overrode the will of the people who ratified the amendment by ordering the Commonwealth to conduct its election with the congressional districts that the people rejected, wrote lawyers for Virginia Democrats and the state Democratic Attorney General, Jay Jones. They added, the irreparable harm resulting from the Supreme Court of Virginia's decision is profound and immediate. Yeah, like handing the country over to a bunch of authoritarian fascist Republicans. That's kind of what is at stake here. The filing is a sign of Democratic desperation after the Virginia decision deprived them of 4 winnable House seats in the mid-decade redistricting race that President Donald Trump kicked off last year. Democrats are still favorites to recapture the House of Representatives, but their GOP rivals have claimed to have gained more than a dozen seats through redistricting. The voter-approved Virginia map would have partly offset that. Democrats are taking a legal long shot and asking the justices to reverse the Virginia court's ruling. The Supreme Court tries to avoid second-guessing state courts in interpretations of their own constitutions. In 2023, it turned down a request by North Carolina Republicans to overrule a state Supreme Court decision that blocked the GOP's congressional map. And this is kind of leading to where I have a big problem. Number one, you can have all these red states kick off redistricting without a vote and during the early stages of voting, and there's no problem whatsoever. But because a Democratic state wants to do the same, suddenly there's a problem. And that goes into like how we have all these different state constitutions. And yes, I'm going to do something that is taboo, that is completely unacceptable in America. And I'm going to shit on a bunch of constitutions, not the Constitution, but like these state constitutions, because the more I see things, the more that I see this redistricting battle unfold. And of course, there is many other aspects to this too. But this system is deliberately set up to give each party as many political tools as possible to wield against the other party, or in even some cases, the voters directly. And it's like, it's not meant to protect states' rights or protect voters' rights, the people's right, like these mini state constitutions. Like, all these states have differing laws, and they just aren't centered around actual states' rights or the voters' rights at all. Every single provision is meant to be a lever, just another lever that politicians can use. And like, it's exhausting, man. It's so convoluted. It's so like, it's such a halt, like a stop to any progress. And we just hide it in this framework of like, oh, it's the Constitution. It's the Constitution. What can you do? The Constitution is sacred. The word, by the way. Again, I'm not referring to the Constitution of the United States. I'm talking about state constitution and state laws. My overall point here is this isn't sustainable. There is no way you can compete on the world stage or even serve your own people in this system. We need some universality here, or dare I say, central planning. We can't have each state having their own redistricting rules. Redistricting shouldn't even be a thing. Like, these maps should be just drawn evenly and like logically across the board for every single state. This shouldn't be a thing that states can decide on the fly and just keep changing around. You shouldn't have things like where you can smoke weed in this state, but you take that to another state and you're going straight to jail. You shouldn't, and for guns, you shouldn't be able to carry a gun in this state, but you go to that state and you're going to jail, or your gun's being confiscated. You shouldn't be able to get an abortion in this state, but not in that state. It makes no sense. Like, I'm sick of like every state. And I'm like, this is really digging deep to Republicans right now, but I don't really care. I'm tired of every state being ran like a little country. And that may have been fine in the 1800s, but it's 2026 and we need to get with the program. This is not sustainable. All right. It's just not. Of course, there are places for specific state rules and laws, but there's some things that just need to be universal, because at the end of the day, they're not protecting anyone. They're not even protecting the states. They're not protecting, more importantly, the people. They're just different tools that politicians can use to wield against each other. And it's exhausting, man. What do you want me to say? Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.